it feels like they'll never see the light of day. Today, we're talking about a story out of California, where a secret, a truly dark one, lay hidden for decades. It's a tragedy that only modern science could finally unravel, revealing an absolutely horrifying legacy. Pure evil. Just 2 words. Think about that. That's how a district attorney would eventually describe the crimes at the heart of this case. It's a heavy, powerful statement, and as we unpack this story, you'll understand exactly why those words were chosen. So, where does this all end up? Well, at least in a courtroom, it ends right here. A California jury recently convicted 63-year-old Paul Allen Perez for a series of crimes that are frankly almost impossible to comprehend. And look, this wasn't just some one-time terrible event. The jury found that these crimes happened over and over again for nearly a decade, from the early 1990s all the way to 2001. And the victims? They were Perez's own infant children. So that begs the question, right? How did a secret this dark stay hidden for so long? And what finally brought it all out into the open? Well, to understand that, we have to go back in time, back to 2007 and out onto the water. Picture this. It's a totally normal day. A fisherman is out on a waterway in California, just doing what he always does, casting his line into the water. Just a routine day. But then, his line snags on something heavy. When he finally manages to pull it up, he realizes it's not a log or some junk. It's a container, a cooler, and it's been sealed shut and deliberately weighted down. Someone clearly meant for this to stay at the bottom, forever. And when they finally got it open, what was inside would kick off a mystery that would last for years. The tiny remains of a baby. Now, you'd think a discovery like that would break a case wide open, right? But it didn't. Investigators had very few clues to go on. The trail just went cold, and for over 10 years, the case sat there, completely unsolved, a total dead end. So after more than a decade of nothing, what could possibly change that? What could crack a case like this wide open? Well, the answer wasn't some dramatic new witness stepping forward or a sudden confession. Nope, the breakthrough came from a lab. It was science that finally unlocked the secrets of the past. Fast forward to 2019, forensic technology had taken a giant leap forward. Investigators could now use something called genetic genealogy. The simplest way to think about it is like this. They took the baby's DNA and uploaded it to those public ancestry databases, the same kind you or I might use. They were looking for any relatives, even distant cousins, to build a family tree backward and figure out who this child was. And then they got a hit. A conclusive, undeniable match. The infant from that cooler finally had a name, and he was identified as the biological son of a man named Paul Allen Perez. This was it. The first real piece of the puzzle had finally clicked into place. But here's the thing. That one DNA match, it wasn't the end of the story. Oh no, it was just the beginning. It was the one thread that, when pulled, started to unravel a much, much larger and more terrifying family history. As investigators started digging into Perez's past, they made a shocking realization. The baby from that cooler, he wasn't an only child. They started uncovering evidence of 4 other infant siblings, most of whom they believe also died. So let's just lay out the whole awful picture that was emerging. We're talking about at least 5 victims, all siblings, and all of them under 6 months old. The crimes stretched across Central and Northern California. And the main suspect? The one person who should have been protecting them? Their own father. And when you look at the timeline, it is just staggering. The crimes themselves happened back in the 90s and early 2000s. The first discovery wasn't until 2007. That crucial DNA breakthrough that cracked the case didn't happen until 2019. And now we have a conviction. But the final step, the sentencing, isn't even scheduled until 2026. Decades. This story spans decades. Which brings us to the final chapter of this dark legacy, where the justice system finally has its say and responds to these horrific acts. After the jury found him guilty, Paul Allen Perez is now facing the toughest sentence you can get, life in prison, with absolutely no chance of ever being released. This case really leaves you with a chilling thought, doesn't it? We're so often taught to fear strangers, to look out for monsters lurking in the shadows. But this story is a grim reminder that sometimes the real monsters, they aren't strangers at all. They're family. And their secrets can lie buried for years, just waiting for science to finally give a voice to their victims.